Alright, I tried streaming like 5 minutes ago and immediately kicked me offline. So, my name's Rebel, and I'm going to show off a little bit of an update for YasK and do some live development here. So this is where we're at. I started working on the nodes a little more. I did a ton of work in optimizing here. Let me show you. And yes, this is an Electron app. Okay, let me kill this. And because I'm doing this live, let's go here. Over here in the draw method for the shape nodes context, I'm going to so this was essentially before was just the was just like just running on a request animation frame loop. So it was basically just constantly updating, and now oops, drag wing. So basically if you drag or resize it, it will call the update. If you know, as you change the elements you're hovering on. So I try to optimize it as much as I can so it's only redrawing when it's absolutely necessary. New menu, one draw, change item, one draw, etc. Change menu, new draw, put a node down, draw there, draw here. So that's working really well. That did take like all day. Apparently my video is freaking out. But let me just get rid of that and I'll go over this update so far, and then we'll get to work on alright. So as you can tell with that that vector node I placed, I did work on some UI elements, and I mean, is what it is. So currently it is what you expect. The vector 2, you can drag it around. See if I can get it right back on 0. Perfect. Let's stick a rectangle because that's the only shape I fixed the cloning method on. So that outputs, this is a 200 by 200 viewport, and it outputs a what is up with my video? I don't care. It outputs this, 10 by 10 rectangle there. This one's working now. I don't have a feature where you can just like drag it on top of the connectors. But these UI elements, I have to work on some more. I need to make some for color. I need to put some like Boolean values, maybe like multi-select, just different UI elements that are going to be important. And in fact, I'm going to phase out a couple of the other context things and kind of recycle these, because one, they are all drawing super efficient as long as I do keep the same techniques in the new context. Plus they'll be fully stylized. Everything else on this whole thing, other than these elements here, basically in the properties context, are just pure JS on canvas. So might as well stick with it. Anyway, this is what I wanted to show off. So it's functional too. Currently we can't really do dick in here because it just doesn't. But these nodes are working exactly as we expect them to, and that's fantastic. So I guess the first thing I'm going to do is try to update the Bezier class. Oh, this is that's how much I love HTML. Here's my entire HTML script. Alright, let's get on the Bezier class, and then I'll start updating all these nodes, maybe start working on a new UI element while I'm here. So First, I guess I ought to check how... Oh, the style has a clone as well. So I kind of... You know what? Before I do that, let me see. I bet if I put a Bezier curve, it will just plain break it. Let's give that a try. Not another rect. Go away. And before I stick it there, watch. It's going to break it. I want to watch it break it just so I can confirm. Yep. Oh, so the node itself is broken too. That's fine. But I know that this Bezier curve is broken because these rely on cloning like I did here in the rect class. Oh, I did use a style.clone. Perfect, that's what I should be doing. So actually, I wonder if I can copy in the primitives. That will stop it from breaking. But this is an ugly ID function. Most of these won't have dimension. It's not going to be erect. Oh, I'm doing this inside the inside the superclass. Wow, come on. Alright, so I will leave that there. In fact, I don't want undefined. I want a defined no. I don't need to mess with that again. To the Bezier. Bezier curve has, you know, significantly more complicated code than the rect. In fact, I have to fix this hover thing for that. Oh, it was because I put it in path? So the in path thing is actually just broken, just plain broken, and I figured out what I'll do for now. Is fix that, and then I will leave a tag. So I search for these to-do tags when it's something I want to take care of in the future. That will fix the hovering on those Bezier curves, I bet. Let's give that a try first, just to see. I can also display all of those points. That's a pretty cool algorithm to show. Maybe I will do so. Wow, I fixed it. Yeah, so it was that under curve thing that broke. So I wanted it to basically, if it's a filled curve, I wanted it to, I'm zoomed too far out. If it's a filled curve, I want it to detect anywhere inside the path, and if it's not, to only detect on the path itself. So for example, here, let me just select it so I can, because like that, you don't want to have to like select things when it's not filled, because it's just going to feel weird. At least that's how I feel. The clone should be pretty easy, because I basically just have... Oh, when I leave it on canvas, I already have the update points, underpoint, impact, detect. Oh, that's going to be inside the Bezier tool. Watch this. Complete curve. Clone the style. Okay, that's not as useful as I was hoping for. Alright. Let's clone this bitch. Oh. And the position should be stop position, curve dot points equals this dot points, and then because those vectors are all clones, my cat's trying to horn his way in up here. The style. And I don't think it has shit else that I need to worry about. So the clone, the Bezier should work fine now. However, inside the node itself was broken too, right? I'm gonna move these shapes over here because I don't want them in the same space. Let's get on to my yeah, that's a mess. Instead of outputs push, now I need to set the value. Oh, that's actually the value is a new Bezier curve. What did it say was broken on there then? Let's test that and find out. Shape, Bezier. I don't think it'll break this one because it has a shape. Yeah, that doesn't break it there. But on the set position, didn't break anything there. Updating the shape nodes. Where did it go? It should be right here. I saw it with my eyes. What is going on? And it didn't give any error now, so I think it was just fixing the Bezier curve. Let's get into the set position node and see. There's the output value clone, and that the output is going to be, oh, okay. I think I need to also set and I will clear all of like the size 10 on the rectangle. I'll switch it back to a size 1 unit, as well as the Bezier curve. I'll work on that, but it just makes it more visible while I'm working on this. Why? It's gonna push the out and then the value. I wonder. There's no way that's what's going on. Let's try. What did I just do? What? Okay, so instead of this out value, Oh my gosh, that sucks. Let's just... There's no way that did it. Because it takes the value from the output itself that of whatever connector is connected to. Yeah, which is how it saw it on. That is a little weird. So I didn't break anything there. I can still see it. Maybe I should make it fat and like red so it's easier to see what happened to it. Maybe it just like yeeted off. Whoa. Yeah, let's try that. Because that explicitly addressing it in there was not useful at all. Let's make the stroke width huge. 4. And make the color something like that. Then if anything, I feel like it's just not loading. But this will at least tell me if it's flying off somewhere I can't see well. Big fat red chunk right there. That's really strange to me. I'll find out what I did, obviously. Yeah, it's just not loading. I don't see any other red things. That sucks. What did I do differently? The out is that output node dot value is going to equal the rectangle Bezier curve for the other one. And outputs push the out. There's nothing I did there that I didn't do. That means I probably fucked something up. There. Value.clone. And cloning this. God damn it. I never did anything with that curve, so it was just disappearing. Alright. So nothing else was broken. It's 5:40 in the morning, and I've been up all night, so that's what happens. Now, let's get a shape, Bezier curve. Come up here, look a little closer. That one, yep. Doesn't have the weird styly stuff. Do set position. Clone it. Hey. Huh? It helps if you actually fucking return what you expect. Alright. So Bezier curve's working. Then the arc. The arc node, I know I didn't do shit to, and then the arc itself does not have a clone. Currently, just the rect, Bezier, and arc are the three. That will be pretty easy. And this static two-path method will be similar to the clone, and I plan on using that for instantiating, for obviously, you know, converting objects to paths, but also for like instantiating different objects on all of the points that come from that. I do want inside of like the arc and ellipses to probably like explicitly set maybe like a couple different methods, so I can, instead of just having the points necessary, which are 2, or I guess there's a couple ways you can do it with you can approximate the arc or ellipses with a path, but I'll make a couple like explicit methods, one for converting it to a path of like endpoints, and I think that will be super useful for other methods like inside of the node editor, so you don't have to like then subdivide in a weird way. And I do want circle to be also an explicitly different class than the arc and ellipses, one that I can probably only within the context of nodes use for generating different types of polygons, like, or for generating n-gons and polygons and things like that. But let's see. The clone method for this one should be what? Near. This position, so it's going to keep the position. Arc dot radius is going to equal this dot radius. Arc dot start is going to equal this dot start. Arc dot style is going to equal this. Dot clone. I don't want to set the object, and let's do it. That should be perfectly fine for that. And then on the arc node, back here. So what I want to do is say const out. That's going to be the new output node. Did I change those? The out value. So obviously on the ones that just generate a static shape, those ones are going to be the simple, where I just have to have one output node and just set its value and leave it at that, because the value won't ever be changing unless I really fuck up with another node in the future. But should pretty much only be reachable, and I'm going to probably change these methods. Instead of stepping back from this input connector from the input to the connector to the output, connecting to that connector and the value. I will think of a smarter way to do that. That was obviously not a very efficient way. I do like, and I did kind of do that on purpose, I do like that they are, that the different elements belong to nodes the way that I did it. So basically, you have nodes in the scene, and um, the nodes can have a collection of IO elements, which are the connectors, and the UI elements, which can be attached to the connectors or fixed to like the connector sides, like you saw in the like when you attach a vector to the input of the set position node, all of a sudden we'll collapse the UI elements and stop updating them, and then when you detach it, we'll bring that same value that you had previously. Those sort of things, and the connector itself is like an explicit thing that has to be attached to an input and output. And currently, it's like a really inefficient stepping back to like through the connector to find which other connector in another node it's connected to, and then you update. And the ripple update is also pretty, I think, is pretty decent. Basically, whenever you update any node at any point in your graph, all and only the subsequent nodes that that's connected to will be called. So it will update that node itself, and then we'll update every other node sequentially. So when you have large graphs, you're not obviously not like, updating everything. Anyway, let's go. What am I doing here? I need to be on the arc. Bro, I am hella tired. Set the value. And not a new vector 2. I'll just do a 0. Oh my gosh. Can't type right now. Okay. And then out.value.radius. The radius starts at 1. That's not bad. But I think also for this, do the same thing I was doing with the other ones and beef it up a little. And that seems perfectly usable. So many of these nodes will be very easy, like this, and then many will be very complex. Huh. Perfect. See if anything messed up with that one. With the cloning for this one, did I forget to return? I did. Bet anything. Twice. All right. Twice in a row. Am I still printing a bunch of random shit? Oh, that's just the messages or the updates and the messages that the editor receives. So I'm fine with that. Get a shape, arc. the polygon and ingon are going to be fun. That's going to be a bigger node, and that I don't think it'll be much bigger, but it will be something that hmm, it will be something that I need to uh, think about and have to do a little math on. We might even get Desmos and play around with that. That's another functioning one. Let's just also confirm I haven't broken. Right, that's not broken. And yeah, this is also that's what I was talking about. So yeah, I like the way that this is set up. It makes it pretty easy to just make new nodes work the way you want them to work. And then shows that I'm disconnected from the internet. So this stream might be over. Nope. Fine. We'll see. I'm gonna give it a second, see if this works. That probably sounded horrible on that microphone. Let's work on some math. That sounds fun. Class. I don't know why I just went with absolute. I just. Oh, also the different types of nodes. I should go over the node. Here's the IO elements, the node elements. The input nodes have that purple color like we had on the rec. The process nodes have this green color like we had on the set position node, and the IO nodes have this black gray color. And these were also just Blender colors. The the IO connectors have. I'm probably going to update this to actually have like a method for confirming which compatible types like inside of each node, like an extendable method that will confirm when you try to connect to it whether it's connectable or not, and then have that return. Then just have it not be able to, because currently it connects them according to either color or value. I think it's to the color, or color or type. I believe it's to the color, so you can like stick an integer and a float together, like the compatible ones, and that's not the best way to do this, and it's not going to work once we get probably 20 plus nodes. We're going to start seeing problems with that, so I will update that next. Onto the math. Back to more of these process nodes. Input, output. I think what I want to do is also take on the vector node. I'm going to first we leave this the way it was. Here, I'm going to make a process node that will do you call it? Like a num array? Or what do they call it in Blender? Split output? Separate. Oh, it's like separate X, Y, Z, right? Uh, separate vector. Extends the process node. And I'm gonna also work on the menu positions and stuff. Those are finicky because I make it like where you first click, and when you click on one of the submenus, it jumps down to where the mouse is, and I know why it did that, so I need to fix that. Um, there's so many like little low priority bugs just piling up, and I'm pretending they don't exist currently. Am I spelling separate wrong? So I want UI elements of both. This will be the no, it won't be the first time I have to set them to the outputs. Oh, I don't want to do that. I just want to take the vector itself and just output 3. Right? Yeah, I know what I want to do. Outputs. I'm going to push X, Y, and then, oh, I should think of a smarter way to do. Where's the menu? A million tabs open. Node menu. Here. That's what I want to do. Separate. Vector. Oh, that's supposed to be separate vector node. Where did it break? Oh. Stupid. This is all that menu is. Um, I'm going to think of a smarter way to do that. But I like the way it's nested currently because I can just make it. Just add items like that. And here. Yeah, why did I call this? Alright. Let's first test that and see how it looks. So first, the dimensions. Maybe I should set both of those values to... What? There is no outputs. to 0 first. And then, oh, because I never called resize or anything, and that's what caused it to break. That will make it look a little better. Oh, I should also just have like a basic value node that has like just a number output, I guess. Let's try. Oh, that's because I never called resize. But I mean, these are working. The inputs. Let's do. I need a float input as well, or a vector input. I'm gonna copy this. And this is going to be a node input. Node type and name, which is and then on the what vector node. So vector node doesn't need this on update node data because it will. Oh yeah, it does. Never mind. Ignore that. It didn't need it before. Now here, the outputs 0 value is going to equal oh, I need to test if the input value's there the same way like I do here, right? If it's connected. I think that's how I want to do. Yeah, that makes sense. So if the input is connected, then the output value I don't want UI elements on here, do I? Not on this one. Yeah. Hmm. So that one's going to say the inputs 0 connector. And shut up about me being super explicit. The connector output value. If they're outputting null, I don't want it to work. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. And I don't think it needs to do anything else. Let's give it a try. Take a vector. Oh. I can't tell what it's doing. Maybe I should have like a view number node or view vector node and just, or let me just combine them, right? Let's copy this. Oh, I guess I do want to do combine XY. I'll just leave it, call it combine vector. I could even make them dynamic, wherein you can specify can specify like the length of a vector, and I don't know if that's worth it. Currently, not. So that's going to be just the opposite, where inputs push um, to float inputs named X and Y. The output be the node output of vector 2. Vector, and then the value should actually be a new vector 2. Why do I keep... I'll do a vector 2, 0 is the smarter way, and then those connectors outputs, there's only going to be one output, but it will be on that one. I should make UI elements, I think, for the two numbers, and for that I will basically just, I'll copy what I have in the vector UI elements, because that works perfectly. I don't want it hidden at first. I don't. Output 0 input X, Y there on there. If the inputs oh, so that one I should do because I have multiple inputs that it depends on. Check both and then either or. So if they're both connected, else if only one is connected, and then else if neither. This is childish spaghetti code. Okay. Now, yeah, that's fucked. I'm gonna do this the grown-up way. If that's connected, I want it to equal output dot value. Otherwise, I want it to equal the UI elements. If it's a vector UI element, how do I get just one? I think what I need to do is say UI output is going to equal the UI elements. There we go. 0 get value. Instead of just trying to address one, I will say the UI output. And does that make it a .x vector 2, or does it make it? Let's check out my... Where's the UI element for it? I never broke them out into separate things. Oh, it is a vector 2, so I could just say .x. Like it should. And then here's y. Be y or the first. Bam. Yeah, fuck that spaghetti code. And then I just need to set the value to the x and y. Let's see. Look at that, nice and clean. The value.x. That should be fine. Be smarter about my code. Oh. Then I need to add it to the menu, right? A combined vector node. Node menu. Then I'm going to make one for value next, but what I want to do with it wait, is that what I want? This is when I can make like I can start implementing the Boolean UI elements so that I can like select whether it's integer or floats. I don't know. I'll figure that out. Vector node is fine for now. I do not have a value node. Let's see. Here's a vector. Here's a separate vector. Here's a combined vector. Oh, why is it up there? Okay, I gotta work on that. Oh man, something's broken on it. What's broken? elements is not. Oh, what did I do? Fucking thing. All right. No. Oh, I guess the vector. I just wanted to catch them. I need to make it hide or not hide the values like I did with the first one, with the set position, and then I also need to put. Oh, so instead of making this a vector to UI element, I will make them individual number UI elements. And that's perfectly fine. But let's test this out with a set position. Ridiculous code. Okay, I'm not sure if it's the separate vector that's not working. Nope, that's working just fine. Oh, this is supposed to say combine there, first of all. How did that yeet up like that? What? Something's broken here. And it's not happy about whatever I'm doing. Oh, right there. Fucking smart. And also, let's go back to that menu. That's fine. And this should say... And then the height for that UI elements, I really want to make those separate. Should I? I'm not even going to worry about this. Do step by step. I'm actually enjoying how boring this may be. Oh my gosh. Get an arc. Stick it here. That's working fine. Combine vector. I just wanted to catch. And the combined vector is working. And then the separate vector. Well, that's just a hard 0 if it's not connected, right? And if it is connected, the vector node once again yeeted straight up. Okay, let's see. if the input is connected, then the output value embarrassing. Did the opposite. So 0, 0, 1. All right. Let's build up this ugly mess again. Get a vector node, a separate vector, a combine vector. Let's pick a shape. Oh. And a set position. So I will clone the shape this time. I will say the set position of this does that, and this will snap it back to 0. This one will do that. The separate vector, this will set, that should set the x value to 0, but it didn't. What? Did I not save it? I'm spacing big time. That was thrice. I need to go to bed. This is just me abusing myself to nobody's amusement. Let's do set position. Let's get a shape. Fuck. And then a combine vector. Let's do it's connected. Snap it back to This should make it 0 on the x. This will make it 0 on the y. They will both make it 0 on the xy. Wait. I know the vector node was working previously, like for this. So why it wasn't giving an error there, but I must not be setting the value if it's connected. Yeah, something's going on. Let's take a look at the values would be 0 if it's not connected. Otherwise, it will be the output dot value dot x and dot y. So I'm outputting two vectors there. I bet you. And a good way to confirm that would be to go like this. Oh, I can't use it as a vector because it's a color. Okay, that's fine. Those are the kind of issues I was talking about by not having that sort of check function in there to see if they're um, accepting the right kind of inputs versus just color and type checking. That's a useful confirmation because it stops me from doing things that will really break it um, during this pre-release period I'm in right now. But that's useless. So let's. This should be the last time. I believe it's finished now. And I just got to work on stylizing that weird looking combined vector thing. All right, let's get a vector node. Let's get a separate vector. Let's get a combined vector. Let's get a shape. Let's get a better shape. Let's get a set position. And that's everything I need. So this is outputting. That's working. Combined vector. That's working. We'll snap to 0 on the X. This will snap to 0 on the Y. Drum roll. Yes. Problem solved. So this should also be so basically yeah, it's setting it back to that same vector. Except this combined vector thing should be just hiding those UI elements. Which I can definitely do. That's nothing. Alright, we're baby stepping. I think I might even have this display the values from the vector here instead of just say XY. Instead of having like a number input UI element, I can make a different number. Like a number output that just displays the number. So those are for things that you can't. Yeah, I'll figure that one out. Because for now, that separate vector seems like too big of a node to need. To be that empty, but I don't care. Also, on each of these shape nodes, I will make a. I think I'll have it like display the type of shape on them. Unless that's a future thing, because that's not a Rebel Today problem. Okay, working. We're getting there. Now the position is going to add to the output's position. I think I should actually make this how much do I want to add the inset was 10 because it's 130 out of the 150 to make it halfway. Yeah, I think I can make it 10 on the X. And it's 26 high, but on either end. Yeah, that should actually fix it right away. Let's see. Who is this one? Oh, on the Y. Why did I put it down? Okay. And then also to hide it, I will check one more time here to see if as a connector, then the UI element I'm gonna make that mistake again. This UI element 0 gosh hide else I will show it. Let's see if that looks any better. I might not even want the labels on the inputs. But 10 happy medium. Oh, and then on yeah, I should not have made that the vector 2 UI element. I should have just made it a number UI element. So let's try it like that. This .ui element a number UI element. That's going to take this node, the position, vector 2, add the inputs, 0 position, and 10, 10. Hidden, no. So here I'm going to add one for this one and get rid of that. Now here I will say this one will be 0 and 1. Get rid of that. If the inputs has that one, you hide it. Otherwise, you show it. And then the same with number 1. And you don't need to resize it. Let's see what I broke. Let's find out. All right, that's looking way better. And it's doing... Let's try this. I'm going to take this vector. I already know that it's working. That didn't sound like anything was going to be screaming at me. So let's stick it in a set position with a shape and test it out. That seems... Alright, it's working there. Let's snap it back to 0. Oh, that's working. We can take just the X from this one. And the Y from this one. Unless you connect it here. You take the Y from that one. And the X from this one. Perfect. That's precisely how I wanted it to work. It just looks a little ugly. So let's try 8 and okay. Basically just need to look at the combined vector. Getting there, and I think I am going to hide the labels, the XY labels on that. Oh, on... I wonder if I can make it... Because here where I do this, I can also... Yeah, I think that is precisely what I'll do. Inside the else, let's see. And this else. So I'm just going to move this into 2 different if-else's, one for each of the inputs. And for this one, I will actually make that a little closer to the second, or to the first one. I'll say if the 0 connector go here. Oh, wait. The output's 0, the value x is going to be, if it's the connector, it's going to be the connector value. Otherwise, it's going to be the UI element value. The same with the Y. Zero's the 1. These are now moot, and the name, I think, is what it's called for the IO element. I can say if it's connected, then the inputs zero dot name is going to equal nothing there, and here we'll say x. And then here, the inputs for 1 will be nothing there and y here. And they're a little closer together. That should look a little better than this. Give it a try, and then I will probably call it quits after this one. I did very little work in like 2 hours or however long I've been sitting here. Oh, I think it should, because of the update thing. Let's see. Oh, I guess I need to do that the other way, huh? But it's working, which is precisely what I needed. Then it won't look like they're like overlapping each other, and it will be a little bit more uh, I need to have it just not display it at first. Yeah, look at that. And then I can even probably bring this one to 4. Yeah, that looks a little better. They look like they're intentionally squished together. I might even bring this one back up. Beautiful. All right, we're good. I think I'm about done. Fucking right. been a pleasure streaming and doing basically nothing. I did create 2 new nodes, so uh, this is what's going to take is a lot of just pushing out little nodes, testing. Let me chain these actually. Speaking of testing, this probably seems redundant, and it may be, but never know what else I might have fucked up here. Get a good shape. Like the arc. That's nice and visible. The arc is at 0. That still works. That still works. And then this is going to combine. I'm going to snap it to 0. Never know what I might have fucked up here. Oops. Guess I'm chaining a few. So then this one, I did back, forward. Forward. Snap to 0. And that seems like it's working just fine. There's that one. And there's that one. I can take pieces from 2 different vectors. Right? Say this x and this y. If I separate yeah, so like this one will connect here. I want to separate like this x and this y. This is just me thinking of like future. Oh, and then oh, this would just need to combine like a piece from each. And this is useless. Right? Combining this y and this x. Okay, yeah. Making progress. It's bedtime.